Hello and welcome to Roland Dyens' Tango and Skai Part 4. This is a walkthrough of the B section, a bar by bar breakdown, showing you all the sort of little hacks and tricks you need to get this up and running. One thing to note is the B section of any tango is more fluid and has more excitement than the A section. The A section, which was in the previous video, has all the staccato, da, 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 that kind of atypical tango feel to it, whereas the B section is where Roland Dyens has dumped all of the fancy flying fingerwork. So let's dive straight in and check out this section. Welcome to the B section. So this kicks off at bar 13 with a G major chord, which incidentally was where we left video number 3 at. Last little bit of staccato tango there. All of it's been done with your left hand. Squeeze, release. The percussion could be a thumb on the strings, a thumb on the top of the strings, all 4 fingers, or a thumb on the soundboard. The choice is yours. Then we get to another fantastic 3/2. So Dyens is messing around with the G chord, turning it into 9, augmented, 9, E, lovely tension to release into a C major, but with a G in the bass, where we get those wonderful triplets coming in there. Bar 13, 15, 17 and 19 are the same sort of idea. So 13 and 17 obviously are your G major chord, where we have the staccato, but the main idea to take away is it's a static left hand, and bar 15 the same. Apart from that F there, everything is done with the right hand otherwise, especially here. That is all static left hand work. Most of it is right hand, so make sure that you know where your fingers are going, especially the I, M and A, and if needs be, use planting. I'm actually using full planting there to get that perfect, so that I know that my fingers are on the same strings. And the same again here. Look, I'm planted. That's the only place that I don't use full planting, because obviously I need to get that to ring out. So those are little sort of things to keep in mind when you do those particular bars. So that's bar 13. The main thing is to make sure that we get that G note really pumping out there. Now, I've already covered how to play that in video number 1, so I'm not going to go over that again. Other to say then, it's a 3rd finger on a G, a 4th finger on a C, 2nd finger on an E. It's just your bottom half or bass half of a C major chord. Here, your right hand needs full planting. Plant, plant, plant. Once you've done that, you need to release that, laser ahead, and you're into a C major 7 shape. And we get this surround. It's a real jazz concept there. You'll get that a lot in jazz improvisation, which Dyens loved. So again, laser ahead, full planting with the right hand. Okay, so bar 14 looks like this. Right hand, left hand static, right hand doing all of the work. Plant, play, laser ahead into the C major 7, 4, 3, 2, 1. nothing is put down in one big motion. It's 4, 3, 2, 1. And then laser ahead. If you need to practice this and you're finding it difficult, I would do get that changed so that I don't need to worry about this. It's mainly here. Practice that change on its own, isolate it, get it correct, and then you don't need to worry when you do it. The only other thing to say is once you've done the you have an E on the end that needs stopping on the next bar. Again, we have triplets and a 3/2 triplets coming in at bar 15. So this is nothing other than a B flat chord with an A in the bass. All of the work is being done with the right hand here. I am A, and then first finger comes down on the F. So again, 3/2, you need to really get that feeling. And then your third finger is going to guide up to a C at the 5th fret. As soon as you've played that first bass at bar 15, your thumb has to come up to stop the E from the previous bar. So there is a lot going on there, even though your left hand is not doing a lot of work. Your right hand has to stop and start basses, and then we have that wonderful guide finger with the third finger. Here we have the approach tones. Again, I have covered this in video number 1. The only thing to say here is if you've been practicing your Villalobos, that is Etchy number 1 by Villalobos. It is the same idea, except instead of an E minor chord, we have an A minor chord. Left hand. Dyens uses his I finger when he does it. I, and then into a P. Almost like a sweet pick thing with his I finger. I use alternative fingering for that. The choice is yours. Bar 16, this becomes really interesting. We have a D sharp to F, so my third. And then you need to laser ahead. F, E, F, E, F, E. So the main thing here is the rhythm at bar 16. Break. 1, 4, 2, 1, 1, 0, 1, 2, and open. So Dyens actually has the gliss in there. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, and then you're back into the G major chord. 3/2. So then it is just a whole repeat of everything that we have walked through again, like so. And that is the change. So it uses the same idea as bar 16. except again we get that surround. Here he's surrounding the A, G sharp, B, into an A, and then that gets glissed up while you do harmonics at the 24th fret, which is just over your sound hole there. And then we get a bass note, and then we're into what Dyens calls pulped thick bass notes. One thing to note at bar 20, so as you're sliding up, laser ahead and eyeball that harmonics at the 24th fret. And then you're into 21. By the way, if you like what you see and you're really enjoying the content and getting loads of value from it, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. Okay, welcome to bar 21. Bar 21 is like a answering phrase to all of the fluid ideas we've just had before. It's labeled tragic, and double forte. And Dyens has said pulped basses, which is palm muted, with the basses being stopped well. So your basses need to go. So obviously I've just done that with my left hand, but when you're playing it and your left hand is holding down that chord shape, you're going to do a rest stroke and then a backside of the thumb. And as you do the backside of the thumb, you will naturally just stop the E string as well. So that's how you achieve the pulped basses and the stopping. The left hand is holding down two dyads, C and E, F sharp and B. So we kind of get that funny lost suspended sound, and your chord is just going to go, and again left hand squeeze release to get the staccato, move it up a semitone, and then we're into familiar territory from the first section. So this is Dyens bringing us back to the staccato feel of the verse, as opposed to what we've been doing already in the B section, which is the chorus. The one thing to note for bar 21 is once you've put in it all together, there is a rest. So it goes. I'm going to just tap the rest. So you need to be aware that it's not all straight. There is a rest involved there. So bar 21 to 22 sounds like this. Into 23, which is a return to the A section. I'm not going to go over that because I've already done that in part 3. The ending is this idea from bar 16. Surround. It's a chum-chum ending, which is the technical term, believe it or not, for that ending. Sixes. B and G sharp, A and C, up an octave, with an E bass, A bass, and again, stopped, stopped. Dyens, when he does this live, lets that slide down into the ending. That is it in a nutshell. There's not much else to this piece. If you practice everything slowly, put it together bar by bar, you will get this, and it'll take a little bit of work. The main thing to think about from this piece's point of view, what it can give you, apart from fantastic coordination and right and left hand, is plateau practice. There is no way you're going to be able to play this up to speed straight away first time out the gate. You will get to a point where you will not be able to push past, and that is a plateau. It is a natural part of this process, so please don't feel rejected or dejected. Use it as a point to consolidate, drop back, use the metronome, push back up to that, and just keep knocking at it until you can push past it. If you need to, push the metronome up a little bit to where everything falls apart and it doesn't sound good at all, and then come back down again. So you play this game where you go past it, drop down, and then try it again and hit the plateau. Eventually you will get that plateau, whatever BPM it is, and then you'll move on to the next plateau. And this is what this piece is fantastic for, obviously, apart from working your technique to the core, because there is a lot of technique in here that is required for this, and Dyens himself has said that. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have, there is a free study guide up on Classical Guitar Rocks. Failing that, the next lesson is popping up just about now.